Ladies and gentlemen, and all distinguished participants, welcome back to the plenary hall. We hope you had a pleasant coffee break, and we would now like to resume our program. So may I kindly invite everyone to return to your seats as we continue the next session. Continuing our agenda, we now move to session 2, exploring existing future decarbonization technologies in ASEAN. We would also like to remind everyone that there will be no live Q&A session. Instead, please submit your questions through Slido by scanning the QR code displayed on the screen. Speakers will respond to selected questions directly on the platform. To begin, it is my honor to introduce the moderator for this session, Ms. Monica Merdekawati, Senior Officer at the ASEAN Center for Energy, to come up onto the podium. Without further ado, Ms. Monica, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Adela, for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you are energized with the quick coffee break. So, I'm Monica, and pleased to be the moderator of the second session. This session will focus on the proposed activity from the new candidate of the CEFIA flagship projects that showcasing the latest decarbonization technologies in the ASEAN. So we will have 3 speakers. First, I would like to briefly introduce Mr. Masamichi Hashiguchi, the Senior Executive Director of the Carbon Recycling Fund. The second speaker will be Ms. Yoshiko Meijima, the Assistant Director of the Fuel Supply Infrastructure Policy Division of the Ministry of Energy and Trade Industry of Japan, and Mr. Koya Omura, the Manager of the Energy and Green Transformation Business Development Department of the Nippon Steel Engineering. To start, I would like to welcome our first presenter, Mr. Masamichi Hashiguchi, to come up to the stage. Oh, you already there. So yeah, please, just a kind reminder that the time will be 10 minutes and there will be a bell ringing. Don't be nervous, but yeah, please start. Thank you, Mr. Masamichi.
Thank you, Ms. Monica, for introducing me. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hashiguchi. I'm here today on behalf of Carbon Recycling Fund, CRF of Japan. Let me extend my appreciation to MITI, ACE, and relevant AMS institution for inviting me to speak. Today, I will speak on the significance of carbon recycling toward a carbon neutral society. I will cover 3 points: significance of carbon recycling, an overview of CRF, and some case example of pioneering initiatives by CRF member companies. First, I'd like to touch on my background. After graduating with a degree in ocean science, I joined MEDI. Throughout my career with the ministry, my focus was mostly on energy and environmental policies, which remain my primary interest until today. After serving as Vice Governor of Akita Prefecture, I joined JCOAL, where I started to nurture relationship with AMS in the field of coal utilization. 6 years ago, we established the Carbon Recycling Fund. Let me first share our view about how we may achieve the carbon neutral goal. There is no single measure or method that can fully address carbon neutrality requirements. If we try to rely only on massive introduction of renewable energy without combination with other measures, some unavoidable CO2 emissions will remain, which we must store or utilize to achieve carbon neutrality in 2050. This slide shows the Earth's carbon cycle. Carbon circulates between the atmosphere, oceans, forests, soil involving living things, including humans. Humans cannot directly build materials from CO2, while plants can. So we can learn from the natural system by plants, ocean, and all the ecosystem. In this context, CO2 is not waste, but a valuable resource that gives us opportunities for creating innovations to produce industrial materials. Next, let me introduce CRF. CRF was established by private sector initiative in 2019. Our aim is to contribute to carbon neutrality in the field of carbon recycling, such as for CO2 sinks, by conducting research and making policy recommendations. Our activities are extensive, from public outreach, regional revitalization to international collaboration. Today, CRF has about 250 members, including companies from chemical, energy, construction, and financial sectors, as well as local governments, academic institutions, and overseas associations like Low Emission Technology Australia, LETA, with which we have recently embarked on collaboration. This slide overviews our core activity, the research grant program, providing max 10 million yen per research project. This is to support innovative research ideas for carbon recycling across a wide range of fields, including part of climate change adaptation activities. About 100 projects in many countries, including AMS, have been approved. For example, a study is being conducted on the biofuel potential of the yam bean, a non-edible plant, at reclaimed mine land in Kalimantan, Indonesia. Scaling up the conducting research project or any other development efforts for the near future, implementation would be an option we may lend our support to. Now, about the growing initiative in ASEAN. First, IHI. As a petrochemical plant of Thailand's Siam Cement Group, IHI launched the world's first pilot plant producing low-grade olefin from CO2 emitted by naphtha cracker. This project is deemed to be a significant step forward realization a carbon neutral manufacturing process. Next, Idemitsu Kosan. As part of its sustainable aviation fuel (SAF) business, Idemitsu aimed to supply 500,000 kiloliters of SAF per year to Japan by 2030. To ensure stable and economical supply, it is essential to diversify both feedstocks and production methods. Idemitsu is focusing on Pongamia, sourced from the ASEAN region, as a new SAF feedstock, in addition to existing sugar cane and waste cooking oil. Lastly, Chitose Group. In 2023, the company began operation of a 5-hectare microalgae production facility in Malaysia, the world's largest of its kind. It uses exhaust gas from a coal-fired power plant. Chitose Group is now scaling up the production with over 100 partner companies. Finally, let's discuss the prospects and challenges for the implementation of carbon recycling. The slide shows the CO2 value chain. On the left are stationary CO2 emission sources such as thermal power plants and steel works. The utilization sector are shown in the center. We see great potential for collaboration with agriculture, forestry, and fisheries. The use of hydrogen or ammonia is also a key challenge. On the right is the CO2 market. Our current key challenge are how to reduce the cost of CO2 separation and capture, and how to expand the market for carbon recycling products. We are very pleased that Professor Susumu Kitagawa of Kyoto University has received the Nobel Prize for his research on metal organic frameworks, MOFs. We hope his discoveries will greatly contribute to lowering the cost of CO2 separation and capture. In summary, each nation is working toward carbon neutrality, adapting their approach to their own circumstances. I hope these efforts expand from the national to global scale. CRF would like to work closely with ASEAN countries, especially for rule making. This is my final slide. Please visit CRF YouTube channel to explore our activity and technologies. Last but not least, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to AEBF20 community and ACE. I sincerely wish for continued progress and prosperity of all ASEAN nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Masamichi, for the presentation. Again, I would like to remind for the participants that if you got the flyer outside, you can actually scan the QR code to submit your questions. I believe the content of the presentation is actually very interesting. And now I would like to invite Ms. Yoshiko Maijima, the Assistant Director of the Fuel Supply Infrastructure Policy Division from METI. Please give her a round of applause. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Yoshiko Maejima, and I am from the Fuel Supply Infrastructure Policy Division in the Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry, Japan. Today, I would like to introduce the Japan's biofuel policy from the perspective of Japanese government. Yes, before going into Japan's biofuel policy itself, let me briefly introduce the outlook of Japan's energy policy. This is a graph from the 7th Strategic Energy Plan adopted early this year, but the main message on this slide is that fuel remains to be important for Japan's energy policy. The orange part on this slide, the graph, it shows a fuel, and it will continue to occupy more than half of Japan's energy consumption even in 2040. So in order to achieve carbon neutrality or in order to proceed the decarbonization in this field, we need to inevitably decarbonize fuels. And in this sense, biofuels plays a very important role. And this is Japan's major energy climate policy package. I won't step into details or detailed numbers, but like what I want to tell you here is that carbon neutrality should be achieved not only by reducing the GHG emissions, but also like through contributing economic growth and energy security. And in this context, again, sustainable fuels or including biofuels are very important. This is a slide showing like how transition to carbon neutrality should be. Like Japan continues to insist that it is very important to like adopt a multi-pathway approach to achieve carbon neutrality, which means the goal is the same, but like there are many pathways, there are many ways to like achieve the goal. And so what we are like from the fuel division, what we are saying is that like in order to achieve carbon neutrality, electrification is not the only way. It is a very important way, but it is not the only way, and fuels and utilization of fuels are very important. And we believe that ASEAN countries or ASEC member countries share this spirit with us. Then from here, I would like to go into like biofuels. Like this slide shows like scopes or the categories of biofuels. Like biofuels are made from several materials such as sugar canes, corns or cooking oils, or even wasted paper or wasted plastics as shown. Like also biofuels are categorized based on their like purpose of use. Bioethanol is used for automobile, and biodiesel for trucks or heavy duty vehicles, and sustainable aviation fuel, SAF, is for aircraft. So this slide shows self-manufacturing projects in Japan. Like there are several projects in pipeline in Japan, and one of them, which is shown as one in Osaka, conducted by Cosmo, a Japanese like major petroleum company, is in operation. And I know some of the projects have been already introduced by like previous speakers, but Japanese government is supporting these like projects to increase the domestic SAF production. Yes, and this Japan's SAF policy is conducted like carrot and stick, which means like Japan implements both support measures and regulations at the same time. We need a both-sided approach. And it means like we need to support the production, for example, through like capital investment support or technical development support. But at the same time, it is very important to like put regulations or legislation to incentivize or disincentivize like stakeholders. And also what I want to emphasize here is that it is very like important to set regulations to create on the demand side to create like demand. Like without the demand, the supply can never grow, like how much ever you put the support on the supply side. So on the field of SAF, Japan puts regulations on demand side through Civil Aeronautic Act, as shown in the second bullet point of the regulation part. Yes. And this chart shows like how Japan is like cooperating with ASEAN countries. Like Japanese government supports the collaboration between Japanese companies and the global South countries or global South companies. And this just shows the projects related to SAF. And yes, and so this shows that like Japanese companies are like conducting feasibility studies or like demonstration projects in order to establish and grow SAF supply chains in Asia. Next, I would like to move on to the road transport sector. Like to achieve carbon neutrality in the road transport sector, it is important to again pursue like range of pathways, or in other words, various pathways. And it is necessary to advance the combination of sustainable fuels and like high performance mobility equipment, as shown in the red rectangle at the bottom. And this slide, like showing like Japan is trying to expand the use of bioethanol in vehicle fuel. Like Japan sets a target to start 10% of direct blending, which is often called E10 by 2030, and start like 20% direct blending E20 by 2040. And this is only for like, brief reference. And I'm looking forward to like hearing the updated information from ASEAN countries afterwards. But the main message I would like to convey on this slide is that like this map is showing like how bioethanol use is expanding, not only in Japan, but like worldwide, even in like ASEAN countries and other global South countries. And to achieve carbon neutrality, it is very important to focus on both fuel supply side and the demand equipment side. And by combining like lower carbon fuels with more efficient equipment, we can maximize the effectiveness of emission reduction. And this is an example of an initiative, and it is called Ice Farm between Brazil and Japan. And this initiative aims at like reducing emissions and encouraging just and inclusive energy transitions. And yes, it is just an example of like an initiative between Japan and Brazil, but we believe this kind of concept is applicable to like the between like ASEAN countries and Japan, and even in the ASEAN companies. So we believe we can expand this concept to the ASEAN countries as well. So let me briefly introduce the ministerial meeting on sustainable fuels, which we hosted last month in Osaka. Like Japan, Brazil co-hosted the ministerial meeting on sustainable fuels like last month, and we welcomed like many participants, and we also invited many ASEAN countries, and thank you for those who came to Japan to participate in this meeting. But like we discussed the importance of sustainable fuels as well as like how to cooperate to like expand the sustainable fuels. And this is the last slide, but like in order to like make like these outcome of the ministerial meeting to like a concrete action, Japan and like Brazil and other like key partners like have launched a pledge towards the COP30, which will be like take place next month, and we have launched the pledge which initiates the efforts to expand the biofuel, not only biofuels, but like sustainable fuels, including biofuels. But I have the draft of this pledge in paper today, so I would like to like outreach the government and other actors who are like interested in it after this session. So thank you very much for your attention, and this is the end of my presentation.
Thank you, Ms. Yoshiko Meijima, for the sharing on Japan's initiative on the biofuel. Actually, I particularly agree on the needs of decarbonizing beyond power sector, because this is also what we found in the renewable energy long-term roadmap that we just launched in the room beside. That in ASEAN, even maybe after APEC, actually increasing electricity basically not enough. So we should focus on decarbonizing the transport, like with the different kind of sustainable fuel that Ms. Yoshiko has introduced. And I believe ASEAN needs the sharing from Japan in terms of technology, because we have abundant feedstock, but maybe have a struggle to kind of convert it into fuels with the technology adoption and also improvement. And now the next speaker, Mr. Koya Omura from the Nippon Steel Engineering, will exactly discuss how exactly to convert this feedstock into the second generation ethanol, technology initiatives and policy proposals for ASEAN. So without further ado, please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a great honor to be here. My name is Koya Omura, manager of the Energy and Green Transformation Business Development Department at Nippon Steel Engineering. Today, I would like to introduce our second generation ethanol technology, hereafter referred to as E2G, and share our proposal for its deployment in ASEAN. First, let me briefly introduce our company, NSE. Nippon Steel Engineering, or NSE, is the engineering company of the Nippon Steel Group, founded in 1974. We have long experience in EPC projects, and in recent years, we have expanded our capability in operation and maintenance. Our company capital is 15 billion yen, and our annual consolidated sales are around 400 billion yen. Next, let me briefly introduce our carbon neutral technologies. NSE provides a wide range of decarbonization solutions, including CO2 capture, CCU, biomass utilization, and biofuels. Among these, E2G is particularly important because it directly connects renewable resources to the transport and energy sectors. Today, I will focus on this E2G technology and present our proposal for ASEAN. Now, let me explain the development pathway of our E2G technology. NSE has developed ethanol production technologies using both edible feedstock, such as sugar and starch, and non-edible feedstock, such as cellulose. We have carried out technology development, pilot testing, and pilot-scale projects, including domestic projects supported by Japanese government, NIDO, and the Environment Ministry, as well as international projects in the Philippines. Most recently, we have been awarded an E2G pilot-scale plant for the Research Association of Biomass Innovation for Next Generation Automobile Fuels, or RABIT, in Japan. This plant began operation in 2025 to demonstrate E2G production technology. Looking ahead, we aim to execute EPC for large-scale commercial E2G plant, expand E2G to various non-food feedstock available in ASEAN, and promote commercialization across ASEAN countries. Next, let me introduce our integrated E2G system. Our system, called Cereza, has achieved the world's highest ethanol yield, about 250 to 300 liters per dry ton of biomass. Our key innovation is the on-site enzyme production system, Cellzyme, which integrates cow's enzyme technology with our engineering expertise. This reduces enzyme costs significantly compared to purchasing enzyme from market. In addition, with high-efficiency yeast developed by Toyota, we jointly developed the fermentation process with Toyota, further improving the economic of the system together with the utilization of lignin residues. Now, let me highlight one of these key innovations on-site enzyme production. One of the biggest barriers for E2G has been enzyme cost. Normally, enzymes are produced, purified, and transported at in cost. Our on-site enzyme production system, CellZyme, integrates cow's enzyme technology with NSC's engineering expertise. This approach not only reduces enzyme costs significantly compared to market procurement, but also contributes to CO2 reduction and enhances supply chain resilience. Here is our E2G demonstration in the Philippines. We constructed a pilot plant to demonstrate cellulosic ethanol production. This plant successfully converted various biomass feedstocks, including sugarcane bagasse, Napier grass, and sugarcane trash. We achieved yield of 250 to 300 liters per dry ton of bagasse, among the highest in the world. These results demonstrate the flexibility and high performance of our E2G system. Now, let me move to a project in Fukushima, Japan. We are delivering an E2G plant for the Research Association on Biomass Innovation for Next Generation Automobile Fuels, or RABIT, which includes Toyota, ENEOS, Mazda, and other leading companies. This demonstration plant uses sorghum as feedstock with a capacity of about 600 liters per year. It began operation in 2025, showing our capacity, showing our proven capability as both technology provider and EPC contractor. Next, I will introduce our initiatives in ASEAN, especially focusing on cassava pulp. In ASEAN, cassava is widely processed into starch products, and as a byproduct non-edible, a large amount of cassava pulp is generated. In this field, Kao has developed enzymes optimized for the saccharification of cassava pulp, and NSC has worked together with Kao to develop the optimal pretreatment and saccharification process. Together, we have overcome the challenges of handling this slurry-type biomass and confirmed low-cost and high-yield conversion to ethanol. The use of cassava pulp-derived ethanol not only makes effective use of an underutilized resource, but also provide a cost-competitive pathway to expand bioethanol utilization. With scale-up, it is expected to achieve cost competitiveness equivalent to first-generation ethanol. We believe this will make a strong contribution to the sustainable development of the ASEAN. Finally, let us move to the last slide. I will compare the critical condition for E2G between Europe, where E2G is already traded in the market, and the ASEAN, which has strong potential for future commercialization. There are four key factors: policy, economic viability, production, technology, and feedstock. In Europe, strong policy support such as blending mandates and carbon pricing drives demand. However, limited domestic feedstock mean that Europe relies heavily on imports, even though proven technology are available overseas. On the other hand, in ASEAN, abundant non-food feedstock are already available domestically, and technology like ours can be applied. What is needed is policy support and market mechanism to unlock commercialization. This comparison shows that with the right policy framework, ASEAN has the potential to become a leading region for E2G in the future. In conclusion, ASEAN has abundant resource and strong potential to lead the future of E2G once the right policies and market framework in place. NSC, with its proven technology and EPC execution capability, is ready to contribute to this journey together with our partners in ASEAN. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Koya. Could you stay in the? Okay. Anyway, so maybe a quick comment to Mr. Koya presentation. So in one of the slides of Mr. Koya, that identifying what's lacking, I would say in the ASEAN policy framework. Actually, we have done similar assessment and which is available in the ASEAN energy website, our website, that identifying what kind of the policy bottleneck that hinders the biofuel development, and also the possibility to trade biofuel within ASEAN. But again, I agree that maybe now the focus is also need to be on the technological development to extract this feedstock into the fuel. And yeah, again, thank you very much for your kind attention for the session 2. Before we really wraps up, I would like to invite all the 3 speakers, Mr. Masamichi, and also Ms. Yoshiko, and also Mr. Koya, to again come up to the stage, because we will have a quick photo session that will be guided by my colleague, Ms. Adela. So yeah, the mic is yours.
Thank you very much, Ms. Monica, and all the speakers from the session 2 for such a meaningful and engaging topics. Now we would like to proceed on the groups for the session, also the moderators as well. May I kindly ask everyone to take their positions. Thank you. Okay, all good. Thank you very much for the speakers and the moderator. And we shall now proceed to session 3, which will focus on transition finance for ASEAN decarbonization. We would like to remind you again, everyone, that there will be no live Q&A session. Instead, please submit your question through the Slidos by scanning the QR code, and speakers will respond to selected questions directly on the platform. To continue with our agenda, it is my pleasure to introduce the moderator for this session, Mr. Rio John Peter Silitonga, Senior Officer from the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Department at ASEAN Center for Energy. Mr. Rio, the podium is yours.
Thank you, Adele, for the introduction. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all stay awake for our next sessions. I think this is a really interesting session. It's all about financing. We're talking about Flexi, we have talking about technology, but now let's talk about what kind of financing that might be we have to tap in order to lead us towards our transition efforts. So we are now getting to the session 3 on the transition finance for ASEAN decarbonization. So I'm Rio from the ASEAN Center for Energy. I will be the moderator for this session. So this session will be particularly touch upon how we actually going to expand and also to entice the transition finance in our region, in particular in ASEAN region and Asia, through a inclusive approach, a green, and also there will be a case of how to tap the transition finance to the hard to abate sectors and green building, and also a case study of the bank initiatives for regional and national decarbonization effort. So we are very honored to have our 3 distinguished speakers. The first one will be Mr. Takayu Michihashi from METI Japan. He will be talking about challenges for expanding transition finance in Asia through an inclusive approach. And also the second one will be Ms. Maria Teresita Lacerna from FIAP. She will be talking about unlocking opportunities, transition finance in the case of green building. And then the last but not the least, from our distinguished speaker from Malaysia, Mr. Muhammad Ajraini bin Abdul Hamid from BPMB, the Development Bank of Malaysia, to talk about bank, development bank, energy development bank transition initiative in Malaysia. Without further ado, I'm happy to begin our first presentations. I'd like to invite Mr. Takayoshi Motohashi, but unfortunately she couldn't be joining with us in person today. But he has already prepared his recorded video of presentations to provide us insight and also message on how actually we expand the finance transition. So keep relax and enjoy on your seat. Relax on your seat, and let's give him full attention to grab his message on expanding the transition fund in Asia region. Please.
Deeply honored to have an opportunity to speak before such distinguished guests on behalf of GX Group Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade and Industry. I'm Takayuki Motohashi, Director for Climate Policy of the Ministry. Our team is promoting transition finance in Japan, and we are seeing steady growth in the transition finance market domestically. However, I would like to begin by introducing the concept we have discussed. Yes, a brief note of the interim report. To discuss how to scale up transition finance in Asia, we launched a sub-working group with the Ministry of Environment and the Financial Service Agency, involving experts, finance, and academia. Today, I'll share key outcomes from the discussion. A major point was the need for the two-layers approach. First, continued support for the International Capital Market Association ICMA aligned project. Second, an inclusive approach, mobilizing finance for efforts and that improve the current practice and align with NDCs and long-term goals. The group also stressed the role of the government strategies in ensuring credibility and the importance of global understanding of the framework. An international report was published in late September. This slide shows the evolution of Japan's GX policy since 2020. In 2023, we enacted the GX promotion law, and in 2024, issued the world's first sovereign climate transition bond. In 2025, we published an interim report, as I said, on the importance of transition financing in Asia. Our journey toward whole of economic transition is still ongoing. Energy transition challenges in Asia. Why is transition finance so important in Asia? Green finance alone cannot meet Asia's growing climate needs. In South Asia, countries must decarbonize while meeting rising energy demand. Renewables alone may not be enough. As shown top right chart, many coal plants are still new, making early retirement hard. Gas can play a transitional role. For hard-to-abate sectors like steel and chemicals and long-term, country-specific transition plans are essential. Let me show you the emissions power configuration and climate targets under United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change as UNFCCC for 5 Asian countries. According to various expert estimates, achieving the national targets will require trillions of dollars in investment from 2020 onward. Most of this capital will need to come from international investors. This slide, this is a discussion on the importance of flexible eligibility criteria for finance. Many Asian countries are moving beyond ODA, so public funding is limited. Mobilizing private capacity is key. Capital is key. Local capital markets are very small, and as chart shows, loans dominate over bonds. To fill the gap, international capital is essential. Meanwhile, global investors face growing pressure to show how their financing aligns with climate goals. To its concerned, like greenwash labeled products should meet ICMA standards. But Asia needs a broader approach recognizing projects tied to NDCs and long-term strategy, not limited to ICMA standards designed for large companies in advanced economies. Based on our discussions, we propose a two-layered approach for transition finance in Asia. First, existing labeled products should continue to follow ICMA principles to maintain investor confidence. Second, to move toward Paris Agreement goals, we need an inclusive approach. Even without full transition strategy, project broadly contributing to national NDCs and long-term plans, especially where loans should be recognized. Unlike narrow-defined green investments, the inclusive approach enables wider capital mobilization for economy-wide transition. Here is a visual overview. Transition finance in Asia should be broadly defined, not just based on company credit. Trust must be built at institutional and social levels. The blue circle shows the ICMA-based approach mainly for bonds. The inclusive and wider green circle represents the inclusive approach focused on loans. Its credibility depends on the overall system, not the individual firms or banks. Governments play a key role in enabling transition. This slide explains how to apply the inclusive approach. Risks like greenwash and carbon lock-in must be addressed, but shouldn't block capital flows. Eligibility can be assessed using 4 points. Number 1, alignment with national NDCs, long-term plans, even in the absence of full transition strategy at the individual company level. Number 2, use of transition technologies. Number 3, measures to avoid environmental harm and lock-in. Number 4, regular follow-up to ensure credibility. If criteria are too strict, however, it may discourage financing and cause financial carbon leakage. So this is the conclusion of discussions. To move closer the Paris Agreement, we should go beyond ICMA principles and mobilize capital through an individual approach, inclusive approach, one that supports national climate plans and improves current practice. Managing risks like greenwash and carbon lock-in is important. However, stopping capital flows is not the solution. Financial institutions should work with industry, accelerate realistic decarbonization using the two-layered approach. Thank you very much for your attention. So if you have any questions or comments, please contact me at the following email address.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Tayakoshi Motohashi, from the recorded video presentations. I think we very much noted on the message that the transition fund should be flexible. I think industry and financial and bankers should be collaborating together in order to find a way of how to define the eligibility criteria to mobilize more financial transition fund in the regions. So I'd like to move to the second speakers today. It is about unlocking opportunities, transition finance in green building. I'd like to invite Miss Maria Teresita Lacena from AFIA. So just housekeeping message, you will be hearing a bell at the second of your end of your presentation. So please, when you're hearing that bell, kindly wrap up your presentation to keep us on the track of the time. Thank you so much.
Okay, so good afternoon, esteemed participants, and to the organizers, thank you for the opportunity to speak here. Okay. My presentation is about transition finance, which is a critical enabler for accelerating efforts towards greener and low carbon practices in the building sector. So I will discuss CEFIA and ADFIAP and the partnership between these two organizations, the Transition Finance Acceleration Laboratory, and the experiences we undertook to provide technical advisory to our pilot bank, which is the Development Bank of the Philippines. First, let me introduce to you ADFIAP. It is an organization of development banks which was founded in 1976 in the 6th ADB Conference for Development Financing Institutions. And since then, we grew to about 91 member development banks across 40 countries in the Asia-Pacific region. Okay, the purpose of ADFIAP is to help advance sustainable development by incorporating economic, environment, social, and good governance principles in financing projects and programs. These considerations ensure that the projects and investments contribute positively to society and the environment while managing financial stability. Okay. ADFIAP has a dedicated unit, which is the ADFIAP Finance and Investment Center, which provides advisory, training, and technical services to its member banks. And it is this unit which is implementing the CEFIA program. Okay. So the ADFIAP's 4 pillars and priority activities align perfectly to CEFIA's priority actions. CEFIA supports financing mobilization and facilitates development, which are the core work of the development financing institutions. Well, the alignment of the goals and objectives of these two organizations enable them to forge synergies, leverage each other's strengths and resources through a collaborative partnership which was established in 2018. Both organizations are well equipped with networks, institutional knowledge, and expertise to mobilize transition financing to fund green building projects, which is a flagship project of CEFIA. So what is transition finance? It was already discussed earlier. And in a broader sense, transition finance is defined as financing and investments in initiatives that support implementation of decarbonization measures, particularly in sectors that are carbon intensive or hard to abate, and the eventual transition towards a low carbon economy. So what activities can be financed? So transition finance can fund activities and technology that increase energy efficiency, manage demand for energy, adopt renewable energy and other clean sources of energy, and deployment of carbon capture, utilization, and storage technology. Now, this is the transition pathways where transition finance will be funding. First, projects that reduce energy demand and conserve energy through green designs. 2, projects that promote energy efficiency, like using building energy management systems and for efficient use of energy, or installing energy efficient lightings and similar technology, and adopting energy efficiency measures, including engaging the occupants to adopt behavioral changes. 3, utilization of clean energy sources, such as your solars, your wind, hydropower, and biogas. And finally, projects that promote carbon capture, utilization, and storage technology, including nature-based solutions. So the next question is, Why focus on buildings? First of all, this is a flagship project of CEFIA. Secondly, buildings and construction accounted for approximately 34% of global energy-related CO2 emissions. In ASEAN, buildings also account for 23% of energy consumption in the region. The IPCC reported also that total building sector GHG emissions is rising annually by 31%. Okay, so there are opportunities also for transition financing in green building. First, the green building industry in ASEAN is expected to see energy demand grow 2.6 times by 2050, with energy use and GHG emissions rising proportionately due to increased cooling needs in the tropical climate. Second, ASEAN's annual GHG emissions are projected to increase by approximately 18% by 2050, driven by population growth and rising GDP per capita. ASEAN member states also set their national determined contributions and mitigation targets. They also align their policies with the ASEAN Plan of Action for Energy Cooperation to address these emissions, including integrating low-carbon building practices, building codes, and national decarbonization targets. ASEAN member states also have implemented or are enhancing policies for building codes, retrofitting existing structures, and mandatory energy performance standards as part of their nationally determined contributions. So far, there are 7 ASEAN member states that already have mandatory green building codes. Aside from that, most of the ASEAN member states have already committed to net zero or carbon neutrality by 2050, except for the Philippines and Myanmar. Myanmar committed to carbon neutrality only for its forestry and other land use by 2040, while the Philippines is yet to make its commitment. So a survey conducted by IDFIAP in 2020, also with the support of CEFIA, showed the following key financial barriers. First, there is lack of bank staff capacity and expertise in evaluating a green project proposal. Second, there is lack of standards and tools to help measure green building impact. 3, there is a high upfront investment leading to low market take-up. 4, there is lack of financial incentives for financial institutions, such as subsidies, tax breaks, and grants. 5, there's a split incentive between owners and tenants, and this misalignment reduces incentives for energy-efficient investments. And finally, the market transparency and data gaps. There's limited access to reliable data regarding building performance and project outcomes, which hinder investor confidence. Okay. So to address these barriers, the Transition Finance Acceleration Laboratory was conceptualized in 2022. It aims to build the capacity of financial institutions in developing and or implementing financing programs to accelerate green building take-up. It's a virtual building laboratory that provides resources, expert advisory, and technical services that are necessary to help our financial institutions develop and implement financing programs. Okay, so these are the steps for the TFAL project implementation. We first do a baseline assessment and diagnostics, and then we help the financing institutions develop their financing programs, help them plan for strategic marketing, also help them for engaging clients, monitoring and verification, reporting impact, and learning. So let me just share with you what we did with our pilot DFI, which is the Development Bank of the Philippines, also a member bank of the ADFIAP. First, we conducted baseline assessment and diagnostics on the readiness of the bank to implement and develop financing programs for green building. We conducted corporate governance and portfolio analysis to identify the needs and the capacity building requirements of the bank staff. Secondly, we helped them develop a project. The thing is, they already have an existing project, which is the E2Save program. However, this E2Save financing program has minimal green building portfolio, and their projects are mostly on renewable energy. So the goal is to extend the E2SAVE program to include financing of green building. The staff were also given technical training on project evaluation, impact measurement, as well as provided with tools and standards for evaluation. We also helped them in strategic marketing. They were given training on strategic marketing and development of a marketing plan. And we also helped them in client engagement, helped in client mapping, linking the bank to the market, and providing opportunity to meet clients. However, closing a deal is difficult because you have to develop already sign your buildings, prepare a project proposal, and also to get certification. So in closing, transition finance stands as a pivotal catalyst in accelerating the green building movement. However, it has to be matched by increased demand through a pipeline of projects. And financial institutions should also work as an advocate. They should promote green building and also educate their clients on the hows and whys of shifting to green building. And with that, investments in green building will unlock significant environmental, social, and economic benefits for the region. And collaboration will be the key to realizing all these outcomes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Maria. I think very interesting to note how actually your VTLA program able to advocate in order to push forward the bankable energy efficiency project in the Philippines. Next, I'd like to invite our next speaker from Bank Pembangunan Energy Transition Initiative, Mr. Muhammad Azarni bin Abdul. You will be given 10 minutes, and also the same with Ms. Maria. We'll be hearing a bell at the second end of your presentation. So please kindly wrap up when you're hearing the bell. Thank you. The time is yours.
Good evening. Thank you, Rio. It's already 6 o'clock. I think everyone wants to get out of here as soon as possible. Quick introduction of what Bank Pembangunan is. We're the largest DFI in Malaysia. There's 13 previously. Now there are 11. In May this year, we actually merged with the SME Bank and the Exim Bank. That's the one on the top left corner. So we are established 52 years ago. Many years ago, we've started developing the country from ground zero. A lot of manufacturing stuff happening at Bank Pembangunan. In the last 10 years, we moved from infrastructure, oil and gas, maritime, and technology, moving to anything that the government asks us to do. So it can be energy transition, it can be, in the last budget, they announced a semiconductor fund. And the focus for us is largely on meeting that 2050 net zero target. We are AAA rated, 100% owned by the Ministry of Finance. Bank Negara look after us very well. The tree on the left is what we aspire to be. In the scheme of things, we manage 3 funds not for the government, but we build it. The one in the middle is actually from the government. Sustainable Development Financing Scheme is R1 billion. It's anything that relates to energy transition and renewable energy. The second was developed in 2023. What the government did was to announce the National Energy Transition Roadmap. In it, they allocated R1 billion for energy transition, and we are one of the managers for this. It's essentially catalytic capital for anything that goes within energy transition. I'll explain this in the next slide. And the third one is the Capital Access Program. This is more of our quasi-equity program for companies that either need funding for the projects, growth capital, or acquisitions. Where we are so far, first we have done, as I mentioned, large infrastructure. Most of the things that you see in Malaysia is financed by us. Even KLCC was financed by us. If you came from the airport, that was financed by us. The LRT and MRT, financed by us. Some of the ports and the major highways. And how we do this right now, we utilize MIND. MIND is essentially measuring impact for national development. It's a scoring method which we developed with the World Bank. is how we do financing is not just about numbers. So if you need to pass financing with us, you need to clear the MIND score. So it includes all the ESG scoring and how does it affect and builds an economy within the region. The third is blended finance and catalytic capital. We are strongly behind this in the last few years, and that's why you have an equity arm. We do this, and plus the catalytic capital from the government is to help company move forward with some of the energy transition projects. And with the merger, we are able to further develop the ecosystem through SME financing, export credit, and which eventually infrastructure funding. This is the NETF. How does it work? It focuses on 6 areas within the NETR, which is renewables, energy efficiency, hydrogen, biomass, CCUS, and mobility. So in the last few years, when we do financing under the bank, it's all large infrastructures. As I said, it's like we finance the solar projects, we finance the hydro, but as you've seen, as we move towards this segment, we are looking at more smaller type of projects. So we are seeing a lot of the stuff that mentioned by our Japanese presenters earlier in terms of biomass, hydrogen, in terms of producing wood pellets, and some of these require early stage funding, catalytic funding with lower returns, and when you do a blended finance of typical lending plus catalytic, these guys can actually reduce their cost of borrowing. And we see, although that it's true that some of the projects we need to export because the local are unable to purchase it due to the high cost of selling it. But it's a start where eventually we can create a new clusters of economic activities within the energy transition space. Next is what we've do together this year with Bank Negara, the Central Bank, and the Securities Commission. We call it CEFIA. CEFIA stands for Climate Finance Innovation Lab. It's a place where we call all financials, banks, to actually sit together and look at deals within the energy space. So there's 3 slides on this one. I'll explain how it works. So basically, it's a platform, and the objectives are strengthening public and private collaborations, explore innovative solutions, and mobilize capital for climate projects. So what we see is there are lack of funders for energy transition. So what this platform is to pull capital from the earliest stage of philanthropic grants, venture capital, private equity, up to traditional lending and even catalytic funding. So we want to group all these guys together. If you guys are interested, please look at mycfil.com and you have more information on this one. We are looking for more people to participate. We have a range of funding from 250,000 ringgit up to 1 billion ringgit. So this is very exciting platform for us to make the energy transition space much more interesting. And these are the 4 sectors: energy, sustainable cities and transport, sustainable agriculture, and biodiversity. These are the 4. So anything that falls within the 4 will come to this space. You can actually, if you're a company, you can come in and say, I have this business, how can you help fund this? So, and the platform will run through the process of identifying what's your funding needs, and along the way, monitor your progress. And this one is another initiative by us and the government. So essentially, it's an Islamic innovative fund to actually match capital from the government and the bank. And so when we do a matching fund, in typical Islamic structure, it's called musyarakah. So you share the risk between the partners, and this structure actually reduces the risk of the bank going to a particular project. So again, it ties back to the 4 sectors that I mentioned earlier under CEFIA. So this is my last presentation. I actually made it less than 10 minutes. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Really appreciate you finishing your presentations. Just a very interesting how actually your development bank initiative initially focusing on national development. Now you're actually focusing on sustainability and also inclusive growth. So just wondering in terms of the the fund that you are now developing, how does it work now? I mean, because you mentioned that the catalytic fund that you are now developing aims for the marginally bankable project in Malaysia. So just wondering what is the status of? Is there any energy efficiency project in particular has been funded by?
So we're seeing some of the new stuff that the normal ones are the solar and the hydrogen. So that's solar and hydro. So that's easily bankable in Malaysia. So we're looking at those are not easily funded by banks. So we are seeing some hydrogen, some biomass, some bio-LNG, some mobility, because the thing with Malaysia, they want to push for EV car usage, but they don't have enough stations. So we are the ones who have to come in and actually fund all these stations. The other part is what Maria presented was energy efficiency. So the margins for these projects are small, so we come in at a lower rate so that they can enjoy the profits.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Give him a big round of applause again. Thank you. So I think that's the end of our presentation of our sessions today. Just to highlight again the key message from our session today. Before I calling all the speakers to come up to the stage. So again, the inclusive approach the ASEAN transition finance landscape demonstrate that pragmatism can coexist with ambition by increasing dedicated facilities, leveraging public capital to de-risk private investment, and building local capacity. The region is charting to a credible path toward net zero. And then we acknowledge the economic realities while maintaining the climate integrity. Thank you again for all speakers, and I'd like to invite, they are already in the stage, so to have a good photo. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you for the moderators and the speakers. Now we will proceed to the photo session. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much to all speakers and participants of session 3. Now we shall now proceed to the session 4, which is the regional and national ENC and RE success stories for accelerating ASEAN's energy transition. We would also like to remind everyone that we have no Q&A sessions, and you can submit your questions through Slidos. And speakers will respond to selected questions directly on the platform. In this session, I'm pleased to introduce our moderator for this session, Mr. Norihiro Kimura, Senior Negotiator for Climate Change, Global Environment Affairs Office from METI. The floor is yours.
Thank you for the introduction. So, hello everyone. Are you tired? I think, all of you are have continued to carefully listen to the old presenter, which are very valuable and very attractive. But from here, we will explore ASEAN's decarbonization progress, national priorities, regional collaboration, and the role of CEFIA in supporting these efforts. We will begin with a presentation from ASEAN Center for Energy, ACE, which will provide an overview of ASEAN decarbonization targets, progress, and initiative focusing on renewable energy and energy efficiency under the APIC framework. Following that, we will invite each AMS, ASEAN member state representative, to share their national priority, perspective on decarbonization and potential areas of CEFIA's support. To start, I'd like to invite Ms. Mardika Farina from the ASEAN Center for Energy to share insights on ASEAN's decarbonization progress, targets, and initiatives with dialogue partners and international organizations in renewable energy and energy efficiency under the APIC framework. So, Ms. Farina, please take the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, moderator, for introducing me. And in this occasion, please allow me to share briefly about our regional initiative before we hear more detail about the national representative from each IMS. So I will only highlight the energy efficiency and conservation and also the renewable energy program area under APIC. So to briefly introduce, this is the commitment from the ASEAN member states to reach the carbon neutrality or net zero target. And as you can see in here, the majority of the 10 ASEAN member states have set carbon neutrality or net zero targets by 2050. In here, like you can see, the Myanmar, Malaysia, Singapore, Vietnam mentions they have the target to achieve the net zero emission by 2050. Also Cambodia and Brunei Darussalam also net zero emission by 2050. Meanwhile, for the Indonesia, they have a target to have the net zero emission by 2060. Meanwhile, for the Thailand, they also have the carbon neutrality by 2050 and net zero emission by 2065. Also, we have low PDR here, net zero emission by 2050 conditionally. And I would like to inform you that under the APIC, we have the specific activities that become the priority. And for this year, under the Malaysian Chairmanship 2025, the annual priority under the energy efficiency conservation is to launch the ASEAN energy efficiency database platforms and also the investment matchmaking platforms. So this is the regional one-stop shop platform that connects the stakeholders in the building sectors to accelerate the mobilizations of investment and financing for low-carbon building projects across ASEAN. So we also have a specific sessions to launch this platform in this morning, and this is the visual of our webpage for the platform. And as you can see in here, this platform have 4 main features. The first features is the building energy efficiency project database. So in this platform, we can see the data base from building project to achieve their target in decarbonizations. And we also targeting that we have all 10 ASEAN member states database submitted into these platforms. And then the second items, we also have the building energy efficiency calculators. So we also expect to have this platform to calculate the energy efficiency calculators and also the amount of savings in terms of the carbon dioxide reduction and also the saving in terms of the money. And the third features is the energy efficiency project matchmaking. And then the last one is the knowledge sharing hub to share like the report and other initiative to be accessed by all people who want to know more about this platform. Another priority activities under the Malaysian chairmanship specifically for the renewable energy. So this is the launching of ASEAN Renewable Energy Long-Term Roadmap, which is happening also in the same time with the CEFIA sessions, which is today afternoon. So the roadmap offers guidance and direction beyond renewable energy development and also covering the alignment and coordination of the cross-sectoral work plan for 7 program areas in the APIC. Yeah, and then this is some highlights that we can share about the ASEAN Renewable Energy Long-Term Roadmap. As you can see in here, we achieved the percentage of renewable energy share in the ASEAN amounting of 14% in 2023. And under the new APIC that's also just released today, we have the new target for the renewable energy share to become 30% by 2030. And according of this publication also, the decarbonization of end-use options is foreseen to play a greater role in longer term due to limited perspective. And okay, and then this is another highlight about the renewable energy. As you can see in here, there is a predictions of the share of renewable energy until 2045. And in the next phase, in the new phase of like 2026-2030, we will focus on the renewable energy and gas generation growth will be in tandem. And then in the midterm, the gas generation peak will be around 2030 and will be declined. And the conventional renewable energy generation and storage will reach a sufficient level to displace the gas. And then the last conclusions for the long term, which is 2036 until 2045, the intermittent renewable energy and baseload renewable energy will be increased while the use of the gas will be reduced. So yeah, and it also highlight that the renewable energy share in power generation will be increased and reducing the fossil fuel use by 2045. And this is another initiative beyond the specific energy efficiency and conservation and also renewable energy. So we also have the ASEAN Energy Awards. Maybe some of you already aware about this. And we also have the announcement of this year ASEAN Energy Awards, which was held last night in the gala dinner of the ABF. So the ASEAN Energy Awards is the highest rewards to given to the private sector, the building owner, or the industries for their projects in implementing the best practices of energy efficiency and also the renewable energy. So we have several categories for the ASEAN Energy Awards, but for the energy efficiency specifically, we have 3 different categories, focusing on the energy efficient building, the green building, and also the energy management for building and industry. Meanwhile, we also have specific awards for the renewable energy projects. For more information about our ASEAN Energy Awards, you can visit our web page, and the link is provided in this link. And then another programs that we are also having in the regional, but for this one, we have the ASEAN Accelerator programs targeting participations from the MSMEs and also the startup, specifically in the clean tech business scales. So this program have 3 different phases. The first one is the ASEAN Spark Ignite, which was already completed. So the accelerator will apply to these programs, and then they will have mentoring sessions. And then we also have the ASEAN Spark Catalyze, which is also finished yesterday. So we select 20 top startup to present in here in ABF and we will select the 7 top of the startups. And next, the last phase is the ASEAN Spark Elevates. So the winners of the startup will be invited to have a business matchmaking and other training program in the Japan, which will be planned in the next years. So next, the more information about the ASEAN Sparks can be found in our website. Yeah, and then that will be my last slide. So we also have several publications. So we publish several reports and then the guidelines, and including the roadmaps. And this is not only covering about the specific energy efficiency, but also the renewable energy. And we also publish this publication in our websites. So if you are interested, you can visit our websites and have a look at the publications. So yeah, I think that's conclude my presentation. So yeah, looking forward to hear a more detailed presentation from the ASEAN member states. Thank you.
Thank you, Marika-san, for your comprehensive presentation on what ASEAN is doing. Actually, to supplement regarding ASEAN Sparks, as she presented yesterday, we had a session and 20 variable attractive proposals submitted and from the startup, and 8 startup company was selected. And as she presented, we Japanese government are planning to invite these 8 startups for business matching and any other variable event which will be held in Japan. So we look forward to the next step of this program. So now, she said, we would like to invite each ASEAN member state representative to the stage to share their country-specific priorities, decarbonization goals, and perspective on regional collaboration, and their potential needs for the support from CEFIA. So now let's begin with Brunei Darussalam. Ms. Nurul Hadina Binti Yahya, sorry if I pronounce it, but Special Duty Officer, Energy Transition Division, Department of Energy at the Prime Minister Office. As for your information, for each presenter, 5 minutes are allocated to you, each of you. So please, okay. So then Brunei is ready, so please start your presentation.
Thank you. So distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. My name is Hadina, together with my colleagues here, also seated. We are the RSSN and also EACSSN Focal for Brunei Darussalam from the Energy Transition Division, Department of Energy at the Prime Minister's Office. The division is looking after both renewable energy and also energy efficiency and conservation policy, projects, programs, and also initiatives for implementation. So we're also looking at R&D for emerging technologies to support the country towards the efforts towards the low carbon nation. So as part of Brunei efforts moving towards the decarbonizing its nation, Brunei also announced its ambition to move towards net zero by 2050 during the COP26. Our decarbonization goals also align with the SDG, particularly on the SDG 7 and also 12. Brunei also actively aligned with APEC, supporting ASEAN to achieve its RE and also EEC targets. These international commitments in RE and also EEC have always been aligned with our vision, our country vision of 2035. While we are encouraging the economy to grow as per in our economic blueprint, we also support our Brunei National Climate Change Policy of having at least 30% of renewable share in our total installed capacity mix by 2035, and also to reduce our GHG emissions by at least 10% through a better supply and demand management of electricity consumption. I would like also to share a few of our notable progress in decarbonizing in Brunei. We have launched a green building project under the National Development Plan Program, which provide funding supports for eligible green building projects by the government. Additionally, Brunei also have achieved a GHG emission reduction of 11.8% in 2022, compared to the BAU scenario of 2015. So zooming into the Brunei national priorities in the renewable energy and also EEC, in renewable energy space, the journey dated back to 2011, where we have our first large-scale solar, which was built as a demonstration project. So the efforts firstly started with small-scale, typically solar rooftop agenda, where we conducted pilot project for net metering program. We issued handbooks and also technical guidelines to guide interested small-scale solar applicants since 2020. So we transitioned to focus on large-scale solar in 2021, where we issued our first request for proposal for with a public-private partnership modality. And from this, we grew our capability around large-scale solar ecosystem. So we have awarded this project and signed off our first large-scale solar project just recently with a joint venture company. And this project has started with construction and expected to complete by 2026, so next year, hopefully. So along the way, we also grew our capability towards floating solar, while de-risking solar project via pre-visibilities of selected sites. Through this, we managed to increase our renewable energy share and capacity 7-folds from where we were in last year. And moving on to EEC, energy efficiency, initiatives have been ongoing since early days when we start our journey in energy transition, focusing on strengthening regulations, increasing EEC adoption, as well building capacity for sustainable energy management. So to enhance EEC in the government buildings, the Department of Energy has been carrying out energy auditing program. We're issuing building energy level certificates, and this program has started by district since 2021. We have an ongoing until now. And there's also our energy efficiency standards and leveling act, chapter 233, effective since 2023, which regulates the import and the supply of appliances to ensure compliances of minimum energy performance standards. We also have EEC handbook published early this year, serve as a practical guide on energy management, energy audit, and also EEC implementation for building owners. So the government is actively demonstrating this leadership in energy efficiency. So the Department of Energy has organized a national energy managers training workshop in 2019, with a total of 20 participants successfully completing the workshop and being recognized as national energy managers. In collaboration with the energy EECJ, a carbon neutrality diagnosis has been conducted on a government building recently, which aim to provide recommendation, best practices that can be applied across the government buildings. So this is my summary, is that our national priorities in renewable energy and in EEC centered around the expanding renewable energy generation through large scale and small scale, strengthening EEC regulations and adoptions, and building sustainable capacity through training and audits. Together, these efforts will bring Brunei closer to achieving our net zero targets. Additionally, under CEFIA initiative, as Brunei is advancing our zero energy building agenda, we hope that CEFIA can provide capacity building and also knowledge transfers in the area as well. We also would like to understand what are the opportunities that we can explore for collaboration with CEFIA in the future. So this should be the last. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Brunei, for your valuable presentation. You shared your national target toward net zero by 2050, and you have shared a blueprint, economic blueprint, and achievement of renewable emission reduction, and you have a target on the renewable and electricity consumption. And also you have promoted in the long run, like starting from rooftop solar from the small scale to the large scale solar. Also, in addition to renewable, you have also promoted energy efficiency, developing energy efficiency act, and you're also working on green building. And your expectation on CEFIA is a net zero energy building with a capacity building support. And fortunately, yes, today, Donomai-san from JACE, he kindly shared their achievement and progress on their program to promote net zero energy building. So hope this ZEP initiative can support your further effort to promote a green building. Thank you. Then let's move on to the next speaker. Cambodia, next presenter, Ms. Yeong Kimuri, official, Department of Cooperation and ASEAN Affairs, Minister of Mines and Energy. Ms. Kimuri, you have the floor.
Thank you, moderator. I'm Kim Lee from Ministry of Mines and Energy, and good evening, everyone. So today my presentation would be focusing on the energy sector, which is about the EENC and OE in Cambodia. So in the effort to promote the carbon neutrality and achieve our target by 2050, we have divided our effort into two main parts. The first part is about the national effort, is to published our national commitment to CO2 reduction to 40% by 2030. And then the other effort is about the long-term strategy for carbon neutrality. In the energy, with result of this, in the energy sector, we have put effort to to reduce our energy consumption and also the increase our renewable energy by establish our the development plan in by 20-year plan is 2022 to 2040, and also establishing the national energy efficiency plan as well. So in our power development plan 2022 to 2040, we have mainly focusing on 3 targets: is the reliable on energy production and energy security, and also the energy sustainability. So with this target, we have expected that by 2030 we will produce 12,200 megawatt, and the share of this energy is renewable energy increased to 46%. This result from our newly adopted 24 project that has the total capacity of 5,950 megawatt. So by 2040, we will have our renewable energy share to 87%. So in the effort of energy transition, we have built our roadmap with the principle on clean, affordable, reliable, and equitable energy. In alignment with that, we have established our EV infrastructure to ensure that this renewable energy has been achieved and also put in place as well. So, like I said earlier, our target to produce the renewable energy and also the energy share by 2030 is at least 70%. So in alignment with this, we have revised our national power development plan to ensure that the alignment on the carbon neutrality is in place. Also, we have put effort on the integrated battery storage, which is now has been adopted for the 2 new projects, and it could produce like 1,000 megawatt for the battery storage. And also the pump storage hydro project that is to be completed by 2028 with a capacity of 1,000 megawatt as well. So besides that, we also have put effort to our solar and wind power plan to the national grid that is to be expected for the production of the power is 2,000 megawatt by 2030. In the effort of in the sheer effort to the carbon neutrality, we also focus on not renew the the coal power plant. So the recent coal power plant proposal on 700 megawatt has been cancelled, and our current domestic coal power plant only 2 existing, and one of which is almost expired. So the other effort to ensure that our carbon neutrality is achieved, we have focused on the energy efficiency program. That is our new reform is we have created a new energy efficiency department to ensure that the new policies and regulation has been adopted into place and also effectively implemented. So as I mentioned earlier, the target to the energy consumption shall be reduced by 19% by 2030, which is equal to 1,500 megawatt reduction in the domestic consumption. And with this assessment, we have divided by sector. So our national energy policy plan has assessed each sector that should be reduced on energy consumption, and the highest sector is residential sector. So we believe that in this effort, it will help us improve our energy consumption in the future and also achieve our carbon neutrality target as well. And following up this effort, we also produce some of the new regulation related to solar rooftop and also the EV infrastructure as well. So this is all for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Sorry, could you stay a little bit? I'm sorry. Thank you for your presentation. And could you just give me, I have one short question. Do you have any expectation for CEFIA activities based on your presentation? Any request for CEFIA's activities?
Yes.
Do you have?
No, not yet.
My question is, yeah, thank you for your presentation. Your presentation is very much focused on your development of national strategies to increase renewable to a great extent. And with the installation on the integration of battery storage, such as a pump storage hydro. And you're also pursuing phasing out coal. Yeah, that's great. And also regarding energy efficiency, you have a target of energy consumption reduction, and with the allocated number of each sector. That was great. And so maybe from your presentation, you're promoting renewable and also energy efficiency. So today, we share the various activities of CEFIA, such as net zero energy building and microgrid and any other biomass. And so do you have any expectation on which activity can contribute to your national policy, or do you want any support on renewable or energy efficiency?
Yes, to your presentation earlier, what that I could align with our national activity is about the microgrid system, which is because right now in our national power plan, we have trying to implement a lot of the renewable energy, and that microgrid project is mostly aligned to our one of the target is energy security, and also one of our project is about the energy battery storage.
Great, thank you very much. Thank you for your reaction, and thank you for your presentation, great presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sorry for taking time for the reaction, but for the presenter from now on, I want to ask you about finally on presentation expectation for CEFIA's activities, because this is CEFIA forum. Yeah, we would like to run your policy development, of course, but after that, based on your national priority, we want to know what kind of activity or support you want to get from CEFIA's activities. So if you include such kind of expectation or a request in your at the end of your presentation, that would be very much appreciated, so that I will not ask any question. So, so with this, let's move on the next speaker, presenter, Lao PDL, Mr. Fonepa-san, Head of Efficiency and Conservation Division, Ministry of Industry and Commerce. Okay. Thank you. You have a floor.
Yes. Good afternoon. I am Ponpasong Sitiat. I work for Department of Energy, Ministry of Industry and Commerce. Today, this is a good opportunity to present about for presentation for how to in energy efficiency and renewable energy. Yes, before, for achieve the net zero emission by 2050, also now have a national policy framework to achieve that. So this is overall of national policy, like just allow we develop on power source for in the country, try to generate electricity for export and domestic use. Nowadays, for hydropower is more than 80% used. So in the 2026, 2030, we try to power generation mix by for another like hydropower 75%, coal 40%, and renewable energy 11%. On beside that, we also promote we have promote electric vehicle to use in the country. For we try to use reduce imports fossil fuel by promote EV. That's we have the target 2000. We have one target 1% for EV in 2025, and also we have target 30% on 2030 to use electric vehicle. And also tied to electrification, nowadays we have 80% in 2025 for electrification, and also we have a target 100% in 2030. On beside that, we also try to develop solar off-grid in the rural area too. And next, this is for promote energy efficiency by demand side management, by reduce for promote demand side management during the dry season, and also in the evening time is during the peak load. We try to promote that, and also we will develop develop renewable energy and domestic supply by try to reduce import fossil fuel. And also we try to promote electricity to export right across GMS country to achieve under MOU was signed by, and especially for ASEAN. We have cross-border trades for electricity. And for the story for implementation EE&C and IE, nowadays we have developed solar is 83 megawatt, and we also developed a first floating solar pilot 14 megawatt. And nowadays we also have developed wind power. We have is under construction. And also we have 4 biomass existing biomass for 190 megawatt, and also we have a demonstration project a small scale biogas for pig farm. This is for monsoon wind power project. We will COD in the end of this year. Will finish early. And also we have off-grid solar panel with solar generation and plus battery for in rural area that will support more than 600 households. And for EE&C and IE initiative, EE&C we have we still underdeveloped regulation to support EE&C is especially for building and factory. For design is the factory and building. For this listening server, we also develop like standard enabling for air conditioning. For transport sector, like I mentioned that we target to use EV by develop like a charging station. This is policy and goal for promote electricity. Like, based on national climate change CND program, the CND aim to reduce CO2 emission by average to 30,000 tons per year during 2020-2030. This is it is one of a presentation, but for the promote energy efficiency, like I mentioned that we will promote like energy efficiency, like demand side management. And also we will base on like on grid hydro bridge, on grid hybrid hydro and floating solar. We also will focus develop solar floating project for apply like demand management. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, comprehensive presentation on renewable and energy efficiency policy. And you're based on hydro more than 80%, but you have a target of EV 1% by 2025, 30% by 2030, and you have the plan for the EV introduction. And also as a potential area, you highlighted demand side management. This is, I think, a bit new for the CEFIA's activity. As long as I understood, CEFIA didn't touch this kind of area, which are more managing variable renewable introduction. So this is a good hint for future CEFIA's activities. And yes, thank you very much. For the next presenter, Malaysia, Mr. Ahmed Fadias Kamara Zaman, sorry again, Deputy Director of Energy Conservation and Operation, Energy Commission.
All right.
Yes, please, Malaysia, you have the floor.
All right. Afternoon, everyone. So, you are still okay? Please plug in yourself to your power bank if you need more energy. So, it's Friday night tonight, so I better make it quick. Let's start my presentation. So for Malaysia, we have our decarbonization goals. We want to achieve a net zero greenhouse gas emission by 2050, same like our countries, other neighbors countries. We would like to reduce our carbon intensity of GDP by 45% by 2030 compared to 2005 levels. We will increase our RE capacity to 31% by 2035, 40% by 2035, and 70% by 2050. So in order to achieve this target, we have our policy. So basically, we have our National Energy Transition Roadmap, or in short, we call it NETR. In NETR, we have 6 levers. We can see here. First, we have to optimize, which focuses on energy efficiency, of course, because the cheapest and cleanest energy is the energy that you didn't use. So after you optimize, then you shift to renewable energy, hydrogen, bioenergy, green mobility, and after that you move to abate the emission by CCUS, carbon capture, utilization, and storage. So under the NETR, under the policy document, we have EE initiative. For example, improve EE awareness, improve minimum energy performance standards, enforce mandatory audit for large commercial and industrial building, establish an ESCO platform, and establish a green building code for energy-intensive residential and commercial building. So early this year, we have start enforcing the new act, Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. In this act, there are four main components. So energy consumer, for the last user, who using more than 21,600 gigajoule, they have to appoint registered energy manager. They have to do the mandatory energy management system, NMS, conduct energy audit, mandatory energy audit, and also submit annual ENC report. Apart from energy consumer, we have buildings. This is for last building. For starting, we start with office building with GFA more than 8,000 meters square. So they have to apply for the label and comply with our energy intensity performance of 2 stars within in their 5 years. Apart from that, we also have energy using product. This is the same continuation from the previous regulation, the MAPs, and finally registration. This is the registration of energy managers, energy auditor, and also training institution. Apart from EE, so we move to RE. In Malaysia, we have a lot of programs under RE. We'll explain this in the next slide. As of today, we have a 12.5 gigawatt of installed capacity of RE. So if you can see at the bottom right, the RE aspiration, our target is 31% by 2025. So it means 13,000 megawatt. So we almost achieved this one. And next, 18,000 megawatt, 40% by 2035, and 70,000 by 2050. So this is the EE initiative. We start EE for a long time. This starting from 1996, and we have funded from UNDP 1999. Or maybe I focus on 2008. We have a regulation, EMER, Efficient Management of Electrical Energy Regulation. 2013, we have the minimum energy performance standards. Other than that, we also have other national EE action plan. And we also have a rebate program for appliances. And currently is the EECA 2034, recently that I mentioned before. For RE, we started RE a long time ago, since 2011. So we started with feed-in tariff. So during this time, we still new to RE, so we start with FIT, feed-in tariff. So the energy is sold to the grid at the premium rate. After that, we have a lot of program along the way until 2025. We have a NEDA, LSS, a lot of LSS, LSS 1 until 5. We have net energy metering and also SELCO for solar rooftop, green electricity tariff for the premium tariff for solar, CGPP, Energy MTPA, and last year we also have a corporate RE supply scheme, CRES, and also community RE aggregation mechanism, CREM. And the latest one this year, Malaysia has announced a new program, Solar Atap, this one to replace NEM in Malaysia. So this is all about EE and RE in Malaysia. You can contact us if you have any further question. That's all from me. Thank you. And for CEFIA, sorry, we would like to request, because with this new act, we include thermal. In previous regulation, it's only electricity, but under this new act, we also regulate thermal. So maybe thermal lab, and also in the capacity building, because we have to conduct a lot of mandatory energy audit after this. So these two that we need assistance from CEFIA. That's all. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you, Marisha, for your presentation. Your presentation are very comprehensive on introducing your energy efficiency national roadmap, and you're also sharing your Energy Efficiency Conservation Act with the history of development, and also you also have renewable energy initiatives with the history starting from the feed-in tariff. And also, thank you for your request on for the CEFIA regarding regulation and capacity building, if I don't misunderstood. I think what I came up with your request is regarding Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. I think our energy ECCJ, Energy Conservation Center of Japan, have a history of providing support for the developing of such act, and also those centers are also providing additional support after you finalize the law for the actual implementation. So maybe the kind of capacity building program can be used. It's a bit separately from the CEFIA, but we have also providing a bilateral capacity building program on energy efficiency area. So maybe you can combine such capacity building program. But I think as I have heard many presentations touching upon energy manager and regulation issues, so maybe it might be valuable for consider CEFIA variable for us to consider what kind of thing we can provide through CEFIA. But as I said, on energy efficiency, we have a special agency for capacity building in Japan. So you can consider consulting with such an agency. So thank you very much. For the next presenter, Myanmar. Yeah, Mr. Myo Min Kain, General Manager, Ministry of Industry. Yeah, Ministry of Industry. Okay, Mr. Kain, you have a floor.
Good evening all. Mengalaba. I am Mr. Myo Min Kain, General Manager of Ministry of Industry, Myanmar. Today, I want to say about the conditions of Myanmar ENC and RE projects according to policies. Firstly, we would like to talk about the Myanmar nationally determined contribution NDC. Our NDC is submitted in 2021. Myanmar's total emissions reduction contributions as a part of its NDC are 244.52 million tons carbon dioxide emission, and conditionally and a totals of 214.75 million tons carbon dioxide emissions, subject to conditions of international finance and technical support by 2030. And the targeted areas of the current NDC are the energy, agriculture, forest, and land use sector, and so on. It is included clean transport, including electric vehicles and energy efficiency cross sectors. We are now in process of revising and updating the NDC. I will continue to present topics related to ENC and renewable energy within the context of clean energy transitions. Our national ENC policy was developed in 2016. Our ENC policy's target is connected to the NDC. The policy focuses industrial, commercial, residential, and public sector. We will extend the transport sector as well. Myanmar has set 2013 targets for improvements of energy efficiencies of the industrial sector by 6.63%, the commercial sector by 4%, and the residential sector by 7.8%, and other sector by 1.36%. Thus, the targets for energy efficiency is the accumulators of 20% by 2030, avoiding accumulators of 0.133 million tons carbon dioxide emissions. As a conditional energy efficiency target is NDC, we use the emission factors of 0.256 kilogram carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour. But then, as regulatory frameworks, ENC and law was addressed within the scope of law. Industrial sector, building sector, machinery and equipment, and transport sector are included. For building sector, there are two parts of operation management, and building design has to be efficient itself. Minimum energy performance standard will be set. For priority machinery and equipment for the transport sector, energy conservation guidelines, fuel energy economy system, and eco-drive system will be developed. It is also included to develop financial regulation for energy efficiency revolving funds, establishment. The policy for development of electric vehicle and related industry was launched in 2030 February. Its vision is to shares of EVs in total annual vehicle registrations will increase to 40% by 2025, 32% by 2030, 67% by 2040, and 100% by 2050. And then I would like to talk about RE sector. According to the many natural resources having in our countries, I would like to highlight renewable energy. Hydropower generation is led to our electricity as 51% and can generate about 3,300 megawatts. Furthermore, each solar power plant is generating about 240 megawatts, and there are many projects of solar power projects in under construction, and some of projects is under negotiations. Totally, nowadays, over 6,100 megawatts from all types of generation are connecting to our national grids. NDC defined two set of targets, unconditional targets and conditional targets. According to the NDC plan for reducing the adapting to climate change at the national level under the condition, and that is must be implemented with the state financial resource. The installed power generation capacity to be achieved 18,239 megawatt by the years 2030. Under conditional targets, former renewable energy contribution is 39%, in which 28% is hydropower and 11% is RE. In addition, I talked about best practice and successful story in implementing ENC. We have carried out several projects in collaboration with international organizations. Among the two projects implementation in collaboration with UNIDO, I would like to highlight one. Improvements of IEE projects funded by the Global Environment Facility. The project was implemented from 2015 to 2021, during which 27 factories were assessed through energy audit. The identifying direct energy saving potential was approximately 496,275.03 megawatt hour per year, covering electricity, fossil fuel, and carbon neutral fuel. Consequently, the potential carbon dioxide emission reduction was estimated at 0.449 million tons per year. However, continuous monitoring and evaluation were required to confirm the actual energy saving achievement under this project. Factory assessment were conducted in 10 factories, and activities such as sharing energy management system practice, raising awareness on energy efficiency and related technologies, and implementing energy efficiency measures in selected factories were carried out. The project results will also be shared with Mekong countries. One of the key advantages of these projects is the practical implementations of energy efficiency measures in the selected factories, which were supported by project funds. The results and experience from these pilot implementation will be shared with other factories as reference models for winter replications. In line with the project plan, 4 energy efficiency seminars were organized with a total of 240 participants, and 1 energy management training was conducted with 70 participants. Finally, as part of regional cooperation initiated under the CEFIA pledge projects, we would like to propose 2 projects related to the energy efficiency sector. One on energy efficiency building design standard formulations, and another on the fuel economy programs for light-duty vehicles. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much for another your comprehensive presentation on regarding starting with the national policy framework with the NDC target, including energy conservation law and the EV introduction target, and also countries share the best practices on the capacity building program on energy efficiency in the industry sector with the training course. And also your countries proposed items of the cooperation for CEFIA, which is very much appreciated. And yeah, we take note on your proposal on the energy efficient building design standard and fuel economy. Yes, so far we haven't received any proposal on the transport sector, so maybe we should, yeah, it might be valuable to consider such a new area. So thank you very much. So for the next presenter, this next and the final presenter, Thailand. Yeah, Mr. Pompan Borasayan, Director, Energy Regulation and Conservation Division, Department for Alternative Energy Development and Efficiency. Dede, yeah. So you have a floor.
Okay. Good evening. Thank you very much, MC. For the final speaker of the day, I think I'll make it quick because I'm standing between you and your time to explore Kuala Lumpur. I'll give a quick overview of ENC and RE success story for accelerating energy transitions. In 2021, our country announced a long-term greenhouse gas emission development plan by setting the target of 2030 NDC target at 40%, carbon neutrality in 2050, and net zero target on 2065. With the finger point at the energy section that is the largest share of the carbon emission reductions, you can see that the energy sector take a largest share of 116 metric ton of carbon out of 222. However, on 29th of September last month, that Thailand announced the intentions to move national net zero goal forward by 15 years from 2016 to 2050, with the key policy directions to national energy plan, which includes share of RE by 50%, to set the target of an EV to set a 30% share of EV of total car manufactured by 2020, increase the energy intensity reduction by 30%, and also the policy of 41E, which are digitalizations by utilizing technologies, digital, AI, decarbonization, reduce the carbon emissions, electrifications, use the green electricity, decentralizations, including distributed generations, and deregulations to enhance competitiveness of the energy sectors. With our target set, we have a number of driving mechanism and direction on the energy sector. For the decarbonization technologies, including energy efficiencies, hydrogens, carbon capture and storage, EV, and as well as the battery energy storage systems. This also includes the technologies measure, not mentioned here, but also mentioned by the earlier speakers. For the energy management on demand side, we want to reduce energy intensity by increasing energy efficiencies, support clean energy technologies, as well as the zero energy buildings. On the supply side, we want to increase electricity generations from RE to at least 50% as set by the target. Increase renewable energy in industry and transport sector, utilizing more on hydrogens, as well as the emerging of biofuel or SAF. For the infrastructure investment, we want to enhance smart grid technology and also grid modernizations, increase EV charging stations, and the investment of battery on grid scale and the pumps, hydro storage. With the measure in place, we need clear policy incentive from the government. For example, RE mandated FITE EE standard, and also the mechanism on the pricings, which is including carbon pricing, carbon credit, and transfer of the credit. From Thailand, I think I don't have any specific request at the moment, but I think CEFIA forum as a good platform that we can share technology sharing from the different sectors, government, private sectors, and also maybe from academic. I think it's a very good platform that we can join together and we can learn from each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thailand, for your presentation. Starting with your new redevelopment announcement of your national net zero goal, and your 41E policy is very interesting, including a digitalization, in addition to decarbonization, etc. And your final slide is about very much implication for CEFIA's activities, because energy efficiency, hydrogen, CCS, these are in the zero energy building in demand side, and these are kind of CEFIA's activities. So we can align with your policy. And thank you very much for your comment on CEFIA. As you pointed out, I think you pointed out academia. Yeah, that's very, to be honest, it's very new for CEFIA, because CEFIA is famous for a public-private partnership, but we haven't, in my memory, we haven't invited the academia for our forum. So maybe that could be the one new thing for CEFIA to introduce. So thank you very much. So with this, yes, we would like to conclude this session, and we would like to have a photo session. All the speakers, session 4, please come up to the stage. Let's take a picture quickly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Norihiro Kimura, for leading us through such a meaningful and engaging discussion. At this moment, I would like to invite all the speakers and the moderators from session 4 to come up to the stage for a group photo as a commemoration of final session. Thank you very much to all speakers and participants of session 4. Ladies and gentlemen, as we near the conclusions of our forum, we now move on to the closing plenary. To deliver our closing remarks, we are honored to have Mr. Norihiko Kimura, Senior Negotiator for Climate Change at the Global Environmental Affairs Office at METI. First, please welcome Mr. Kimura. Mr. Kimura, the floor is yours.
So thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us for long hours. But we have a very much valuable, so many presentation. So thank you for distinguished speakers who contributed to this very important forum. To conclude the CEFIA forum, usually I am supposed to provide summary of today's forum and wrap up the meeting. However, as this is the 5th time for me to give closing remarks of the CEFIA forum, so I'd like to recap the past 5 sessions of CEFIA forum instead. I apologize for asking all of you for a little more your time after listening to so many valuable presentations for long hours, but please give me a moment. During the 2.5 years since my first participation at the 4th CEFIA Forum in Cebu, Philippines in 2023, significant geopolitical changes have occurred. Yet I believe CEFIA has achieved great evolution in response to, regardless of this geopolitical situation. During this period, ASEC, Asia Zero Emission Community, was launched by our ministers and leaders, and ASEAN Sparks, whose concept was discussed between former executive director of ACE, Nuki-san, and me originally during the CEFIA forum in Cebu, has been applied and adopted by JIFE Fund and successfully launched with cooperation of UNIDO. While there are many lessons learned from CEFIA, I believe the most significant one is the importance of continuation while adapting to change of the world. For example, while CEFIA initially began with cooperation on energy conservation and renewable energy, as the world has been moving toward carbon neutrality to achieve the 1.5 degree target, it has started new initiatives for energy transition, such as microgrid in remote islands, biomass, hydrogen, and fuel ammonia, in addition to the efforts on net zero energy building and the energy efficiency in steel sector, which are still valid. As for finance, on technologies, at every time we introduced very attractive and promising technologies such as CCUS and any other variable biofuel, of course. Yeah, so we have made so many variable efforts. And on finance, which has been cross-cutting theme of CEFIA forum, ADFIAP has made a consistent effort and developed new financing program on energy efficiency building. And currently we are discussing transition finance. Furthermore, CEFIA continues to evolve, collaborating with new frameworks such as ASEC and ASEAN Sparks while advancing its initiative. This is evident from the fact that we held 3 events in conjunction this time at the Mahjong AEBF. While I've explained how CEFIA has changed, one thing remained the same. CEFIA is always with ASEAN. As mentioned earlier by ACE, CEFIA has contributed to APEC Phase 2 activities through its flagship project involving private sectors. As referenced in the AMEN+3 joint statement, CEFIA aims to make increasingly contribute substantially to APIC Phase 3, which begins next year. Specifically, based on detailed activities planned for APIC Phase 3, and after carefully listening to ASEAN countries' needs, we would like to continue to promote CEFIA through public and private partnership between Japan and ASEAN. We look forward to receiving proposal from ASEAN regarding future activity of CEFIA in this regard. As I said every time, we are always open for your proposal for future CEFIA activities. Finally, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to the host country, Malaysian government, and ASEAN Center for Energy, and BCG team, who serve as the secretariat for their dedicated effort in making this CEFIA forum possible, as well as to all the speakers who presented, and to all participants who joined this forum today. Please give them huge applause. With this, I would like to close the meeting, conclude my closing remarks. Thank you all for your participation for a long hours today. I wish all of you a safe trip your home, and see you again at the next CEFIA forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Kimura, for your wonderful closing remarks. We have now reached at the end of the forum. A sincere thank to you all, our speakers, panelists, and participants for your valuable contributions and active engagement. This forum has been a great platform for knowledge sharing, collaboration, and fostering regional cooperation toward our shared energy and climate goals. Before you leave, we have important announcements. We would greatly appreciate your feedback to improve our future forums. Please take a few minutes to complete the survey by scanning the QR code displayed on the screen. Your insights are invaluable in shaping the next forum. Once again, thank you all for being part of this forum. Safe travels, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.